that choice?
Yeah, I mean, it was written that way, and Bree is another one who just brought so much to the character. She and I spoke about Buster Keaton. Buster Keaton's like a silent film actor, kind of a contemporary of Charlie Chaplin, and he's a master at saying so much without saying anything at all. Just a quick look, and you get the whole story. And and I think she did that really well. I think lines are overrated. I'm always trying to cut my lines and see if I can, get the point across without saying anything. Because, movies it's different than theater. Movies are about this, so you can really tell a story with just a little bit. And she did, yeah.
She does it a lot. I got to. I'll throw it to the audience in a sec, but I want to make sure. I got to ask about Tony Danza.
Tough Tony Danza.
Yeah.
That was his boxer name when he was a prize fighter.
It's inspired. But did you always sort of have him in the back of your mind as playing your dad? Because you've known him for a long time.
Yeah, this is like our 20-year reunion because we were in Angels in the Outfield together. Yeah. Yep. 20 years is not an exaggeration, actually. I was 12 when we shot that, and I'm 32 now. And I can't say that I was thinking about him while writing it, but when I started to think of, okay, who should I cast, he was my first choice, and I got really fortunate here, man. All the actors were my first choice, and that's very rare, and I feel really lucky, but he's so good. The thing about Tony is he's naturally his instinct is he's very nice. He's super sweet man. And in this movie, he's playing kind of a dick. And so that was my constant note to him was like, I like you too much, man. You have to be more of a dick. Okay, all right, you figured it out, It does not come natural to him.
He was also at South by Southwest, and I got to talk to him. There's nothing he won't talk about at length.
Yeah,
that's
he's got stories, man.
He definitely does. Okay, so let's see if we got anybody out here. I'll start with you right here.
Yeah. That was an awesome movie, by the way.
Thanks.
Loved it. Do you have any advice or tips for people who also want to be writers or directors?
Sure. She asked about tips for people who want to make movies or be writers or directors. Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of tips. First of all, I would say don't wait. Don't wait for anybody. Don't wait for, an agent or a producer or money or any of that. You can make something on your phone. You can. And you can make a great story. You don't need anything. So just start making things. Make a lot of things. Don't get too precious. I could go on for that. Don't get precious. Don't have to make the perfect thing. Make like a 1-minute thing. See if you can tell a good story in 60 seconds. Then make a 2-minute thing. And then, I'm serious, then make a 3-minute thing, and a 5-minute thing, 10-minute thing. Make a bunch of them. Make as many as you can. This is actually what I did. So when I was 21, for my 21st birthday, I got myself my first copy of Final Cut, which is the software I use to cut video. And I'd always played around with video cameras and stuff, but that was the first time I'd edited. And when you start editing, do you edit?
Yeah, I go to film school here, actually.
Okay, sweet. Editing is that's the thing. So that's when it really kind of starts becoming filmmaking. I just made all sorts of stuff. These dumb little videos I would shoot of myself and cut together, and then I dropped out of college, and I just wanted to keep doing it because I was like, well, I could write this paper, or I could cut this video, and that's what happened. I'm not saying you should drop out of college, but yeah. So that would be sort of my tip is just make a bunch of stuff and start small. Don't try to make a feature film first. The short form is a great thing, and seriously, make a bunch of little ones first. Make a feature much later.
All right.
And hit record, yeah. She said it, I didn't say it. Really.
Dozens of short films on hit record. So, And are you? I thought I read somewhere where you're sort of gearing up to do something, or at least you're thinking about gearing up to do something with some of the hit record people.
We're making a TV show right now. Right now. Yeah. Oh, sweet. I'm glad you guys know that. Have you guys contributed? Nice. Awesome. So, we're making a TV show. It's going to be on television, like not the internet, but television. And we're making it right now. And writers or filmmakers, video editors, visual artists, musicians, there's stuff. It's happening tonight, tomorrow, every day. So come contribute.
All right, someone's standing up in the back. I might regret this, but go ahead.
Hi, I know you've been in this industry for a long time. What is something that you wish you had known starting off that you know now?
I don't know. I feel pretty good about how it all went, honestly. But I could give you some platitudes like don't chase the paper and like love the game.
Oh man. Okay, right there. Yeah.
Hi, I love the movie. How
Thanks.
long did it take you to A, get the body, and B, nail the accent? You did a fantastic role in A, physically, and B, presently.
Thank you. So he's a vain guy, John, and I thought it was important that it's a lot about, this is a guy who has very rigid expectations of what a man is supposed to be and what a woman is supposed to be, and so and he's pretty into the surface of things. So I thought he would be the type of guy that would go to the gym every day, which is not me.
GTL.
Yeah, well,
Sure.
yeah, I heard about that.
How long did it take you to...
It was about 6 months, and I was going every day and eating so much chicken.
Great job.
Thank you.
Wave your hand. The guy in the yeah.
Oh, cool. You were talking about casting a lot, kind of on that note. I wondered, were you always in mind for the main character, or did you have? What was that process?
Yeah, I was always. When I was always doing it thinking of it for me. It made me laugh, the idea of me playing this guy, and inspired me. And I'm in the whole thing, and there was only one day, there was a half a day actually, where I was directing and not acting at the same time, and it was actually when Chan and Annie came to do their cameos, and producer Ram is actually the guy who produced Looper and Brick as well, and he produced this, and Ram came over to me and said, I'm not going to do a Ram imitation. I almost did, but Ram came over to me and asked how it felt to be just directing and not acting at the same time. And I told him, honestly, I feel out of place and unfamiliar. I'm used to being acting. I'm used to acting. I'm used to that vantage point. I feel more in touch with how the scene's going when I'm in it. And so I felt more able to direct when I was acting at the same time. And I'm perfectly interested, and on the Hit Record TV show we're doing, I've been directing stuff that I'm not in, and it's fun. And I hope that one day I get to maybe direct movies that I'm not in. But I really like doing both. I sort of think that the divisions in roles between writer, director, this, that, blah 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 are they're sort of old-fashioned. Those are roles that were designed last century based on a very different set of tools and methodology for making movies. And so nowadays I feel like it's more just kind of about making the movie and seeing what you can do, and that's how I viewed it. I didn't so much think of it as like, oh, I'm gonna act and direct at the same time. I was just like, I know the story, I know what it's got to be. Let's do it.
I had completely forgotten about the movie inside the movie thing when I was watching it today, and and as soon as I saw the poster, I'm like, oh my god, that's so. But I got to ask you at least one. It reminded me though, I got to ask you at least one sort of rumor mill question, which is this Guys and Dolls thing that came up recently with you and Channing Tatum. Is there any truth to that? Is there any traction on that? Like, because I think that would be the greatest thing ever.
It could be cool.
I think it could
thanks.
be. Like, is that a real thing, or is it just
What's
like
real about it is that Chan and I really want to do a musical together. So we're trying to figure out what it is, but it's complicated, and so we're working on it. We're hard at work. I'll let you know when we got something.
All right, cool. All right, who's next? Okay, over there.
All right. First, I want to congratulate you on the movie. I think it was an awesome pleasure to watch it, and it's really going to find the right people, I believe.
Thanks, man.
Also,
It's up to you.
It is up to you.
You can do it.
so you do really reveal a lot of the bullshit of a certain genre that the industry really depends on to make a lot of money. And I was wondering if that was a problem, like trying to find studios to back the movie.
That's an interesting question. He asked about this is sort of subversive and taking shots at a classic Hollywood genre, and was I concerned that studios wouldn't want to get behind it? Well, I knew from the beginning that I wasn't going to make it at a studio, and we didn't. We made it independently for very little money, and we conceived it at a very low budget, and the budget was quite low. Like, just for context, like 500 Days of Summer had twice the budget of this movie. So the reason I wanted to do it for little money was because I wanted to be able to keep the creative control, and I have the exact concern you're pointing out, that if it was being developed in a more conventional way, it would be too risky and people would get cold feet and want to change it. So the idea was just to make it and get a version of it done and play it at Sundance, and then hopefully someone would pick it up. And that's what happened. And I really give a lot of credit to Relativity. Relativity Media, who picked it up and are distributing it with a wide release, like a mainstream movie, which costs them a lot of money, so they're risking a lot of money. But I hope it's going to pay off, and I wanted it to be that. I never wanted this to be a movie that was just seen by kind of metropolitan cinephiles. Not that there's anything, I'm a metropolitan cinephile, but this is a movie about pop culture, and so I wanted it to enter into pop culture and be a part of the mainstream, and I'm really happy that it has, and again, credit to Relativity for not only picking it up and investing in it, but not changing it. Like, they didn't ask me to change one thing, and I really give them a lot of credit for that.
But one thing did change, not necessarily because of them. The title changed.
That's
right
true.
at South by Southwest, I saw it. It was called Don John's Addiction,
Right.
and then that day or the next day, you announced the title change. Why
Right.
did you drop Addiction?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's just shorter and easier to say. Pops, Don John. You could tell when people would say, "Oh, what's the movie called?" and I would say Don John's Addiction. They'd say, "Don what?" So that's not a good sign. But also, that's really bad if that's happening.
Yeah.
But also, when I first titled it Don John's Addiction, it was sort of like the Maltese Falcon. Maltese Falcon is not a movie about a statue of a bird. The statue of the bird represents. Anybody here seen the Maltese Falcon? Right. So it's
Not enough.
It's a bit of a do a screening of the Maltese Falcon. Get on Ain't It Cool News and be like, Capone says, come see the Maltese Falcon. But that bird in the movie is not what the movie's about. It's sort of a symbol, and the word addiction in the title was sort of like that, But
Loaded word. Yeah.
But people kept thinking like, so you made a movie about porn addiction. I was like, no, that's really not what I'm trying to talk about. That's not what I think the story's about. It's certainly like the Maltese Falcon. It plays an important role in the story, and it's an important sort of central symbol, but it's not what the movie's about. So I felt like it was sort of misleading people, and it's really a story about a guy who starts in one place, sort of confined to his rigid expectations that he's learned from various places, be it his family or friends or church or the media and various kinds. And how by the end he's beginning to break out of that mold. That's the story I wanted to tell, so that's why I just made the title Don John.